Oh, please. Please help. Somebody.
I would like a bone.
Montgomery County 911, where's your emergency?
I just stabbed myself and I killed my 2 children.
You stabbed yourself and killed your 2 children?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what's your name?
Brandy Worley.
Brandy what?
Worley.
And where are the children at?
In my daughter's room on the floor.
In your daughter's room on the floor? Okay. And what caused you to do this today?
My husband wanted a divorce and wanted to take my kid. I won't let him have my kid.
Okay, and how old are your children?
7 and 3.
Okay. And where did you stab yourself at?
In the neck.
Okay, are you bleeding?
Yeah, there's blood everywhere.
Okay, and where are you at?
In my living room.
You're in your living room?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and are you armed now with the knife still?
No, it's in my children's room.
Okay, where's your husband at?
Downstairs somewhere.
Okay, what's his condition?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him.
And what are you feeling right now? I mean, you're tired? Are you where?
Yeah, I took a lot of Benadryl.
You took a lot of Benadryl?
Yeah.
Okay.
On October 22, 2022, shortly after 10 a.m., 30-year-old Nestor Hernandez walked into the Methodist Dallas Medical Center in Texas to visit his longtime girlfriend, Selena Villatoro, who had just given birth to their first child the day before, and to the casual observer it seemed that Nestor was there to visit his newborn son. The truth of the matter, though, was that Nestor was there for a much more sinister reason. He had spent most of the morning drinking at home, and as usual, his alcohol-fueled paranoia got the best of him. He convinced himself that his girlfriend was cheating on him, so despite being on parole and wearing an ankle monitor, he decided that he needed to confront her immediately. As he entered the labor and delivery unit of the hospital with a beer in hand, he made his way to Selena's room, and what would follow was a swift and terrifying escalation of matters. After unsuccessfully searching for the non-existent man he believed Selena was seeing, Nestor suddenly whipped out a gun and repeatedly pistol-whipped Selena. As hospital staff came around to check in on what was happening, Nestor opened fire and tragically killed 2 healthcare workers, and it seemed that he had even more innocent victims in mind.
Can you come out? Over here, please, come out. Come outside. Okay, I'm Robert. What's your name, partner? What's your name? Talk to me. Okay. Okay, listen, we can work this out, partner, okay? All I want to do is just get the people outside, please. We can work this out. Just let them outside, okay?
No, this is not the set of a scary movie. But what I'm about to tell you about this place will sound like something straight out of a horror movie, except it's real life. The Tri-State Crematory was established in the 1970s in a small town in Georgia known as Noble. For decades, the crematory ran smoothly under founder Tommy Marsh, a well-respected man in the community. Eventually, the operation was passed over to Tommy's son, Ray, who was sent 2,000 bodies from across Georgia, Tennessee, and Alabama during his time as head of operation. All appeared fine until October 2000, when a gas man who arrived to provide service to the property saw something quite suspicious. When he walked in, he found bodies scattered all around the building. Concerned, he contacted the local police department, but unfortunately, they ignored it. Suspicions were raised once again in November of 2001 when the Environmental Protection Agency received an anonymous tip that reported seeing body parts in the woods surrounding Tri-State Crematory. The police department was informed and then checked the surrounding area but did not find anything. Then, 3 months later, the EPA was contacted once again from a community member that stated that they were walking their dog when they found a human bone within the proximity of the crematory. EPA agents immediately arrived on the scene, and that is when they found a human skull and other human bones. This prompted the arrival of the police on February 15, 2002, to check out the inside of the crematory. When the police opened the door to the first building, they made a horrific discovery. Bodies were piled high on top of each other of various stages of decomposition. Fluids oozed from some of the bodies onto the floor. Some were still wearing their hospital gowns and the hospital wrist bracelets that they died wearing. From the looks of it, it looked like bodies were dragged across the floor and piled up, left to rot. As police continued, they found a body lying halfway inside of a crematory oven. Coffins were everywhere, one even in a dilapidated hearse holding a badly decomposed man. Another man was found inside of a wooden box, with the skeleton of a baby at his feet. Overall, 339 uncremated bodies were discovered that day. Ray Marshall was arrested and charged with 787 criminal accounts, including theft by deception and the abuse of a corpse. He got 12 years behind bars and was released in 2016.
Disturbing facts from history you wish you didn't know. One of the most horrifying true stories you'll ever hear has to be that of Russia's Cannibal Island. In the summer of 1933, thousands of Russian citizens were rounded up by police and sent to live on a tiny, swampy island in Siberia's Oba River. The plan was for the deportees to construct a special settlement as part of Joseph Stalin's new social engineering plan to rid Moscow of all undesirable elements. In May, the first 3,000 prisoners were dropped off by barge on Nadzino Island. They were given no tools, food or shelter. These were mostly city dwellers who had no farming experience or any skills for surviving outdoors. In a short time, the weather conditions quickly deteriorated with rain, snow and freezing winds sweeping over the island. Even still, more barges kept coming, dropping off even more people. Guards patrolled the icy waters, threatening to shoot anyone who tried to escape. For a while, every 4 or 5 days, they would drop off sacks of moldy rye flour as the only food source on the island. The inhabitants would take the flour to the river, mix it with water and drink it. Eating it dry was nearly impossible. Accidentally breathing the flour in its original state could be suffocating. Early on, many people lost their lives by freezing. Some burned alive by sleeping too close to the fires. Others became ill from drinking the brackish water. Things grew far worse for the survivors once starvation set in. Soon, the strongest of the island's prisoners began hunting the weakest members for food. Rumors quickly spread back in Moscow that the island's prisoners had begun eating each other. The experiment ended just 13 weeks after it had begun. Soldiers were sent to evacuate the island. What they found when they got there is beyond a nightmare. Corpses stripped of their flesh littered the tall grass. Skeletal limbs and human organs were discovered hanging from trees. One woman who had been transferred to another camp was missing her calves. That's because some of the prisoners cut them off while she was alive. She only survived because the frigid temperatures kept her alive. Of the 6,700 prisoners brought to Nadzino Island, 4,000 went missing or were killed. The events on Russia's Cannibal Island were covered up until 1988, when secret records were finally released to the public.
The most evil person that I have ever met was a 7-year-old child. We will call him Tommy, and this is a part of his story. Tommy was an identical twin. Unfortunately, his brother died in utero with an umbilical cord wrapped around his tiny little neck. Tommy, it was said, was holding the umbilical cord when he was born. Born under a bad moon, maybe. When I had met Tommy, he was already 7 years old, and his parents were terrified of him. It seems that he had tried to kill his little sister more than once. and might have succeeded with some other children under very strange circumstances. The first strange death happened when Tommy was only 4 years old, to a neighbor boy playing at his house, who mysteriously choked on one of Tommy's toys. I was called in to offer some counsel to the family, and I met Tommy then, and I was taken aback. It was his eyes, you see. There was a dark look, a faraway look, a look that I've only seen before in captive animals that desire to be free, sometimes in animals that have killed. It was a soulless look, I guess is an expression that would fit, rather like a shark. Little Tommy sized me up and found me wanting. He didn't like me very much, and to be quite honest, I really didn't like Tommy. He wasn't very nice. I think the reason I didn't get on with Tommy is I love animals, and Tommy hated them. He would kill them every opportunity he would get. A neighbor's cat here, a stray dog there, a friend's fish from the fish tank. It didn't really matter. If it was an animal, and Tommy could overpower it, he would, and he would do horrible things that I can't even mention here. Is evil inherited? Is it born? Is it learned? I've been seeking to find answers to those questions ever since I was a young man, and I haven't found a satisfactory answer yet. Little Tommy was institutionalized at only 7 years old when he attacked and attempted to kill a much older neighbor girl with a homemade garrote. He took an extension cord and wrapped it around her little neck and tried to choke her to death. She was able to fight him off for long enough for help to arrive. When I asked him why, he said, "Because I am the devil, and I made me do it." This is a true story, and if you would like to hear more of little Tommy, let me know in the comments.